I recently reached out to some employers and recruiters over the job shortages for foreigners. Most of you have left me message saying, Clara, I invested so much money into moving down to the UK via the study visa, and after my graduation I can't even place my hand on a single job. My intention was to use this as a settlement route, but it seems to be impossible right now. Why some of you from overseas are still complaining the same, saying you can't even get a visa sponsorship job. The one that shocked me the most is dependents who are here in the UK who doesn't even need a visa sponsorship job are still complaining the same. That what is happening, Clara? Is it because I'm a foreigner I can't even get a single job to start working? This is devastating. I decided to contact these recruiters and employers who I've previously worked for in the past. A lot of you know that I partner with some agencies, employers and recruiters. So I decided to place a call asking what is happening, what is the issue here, why is it that people can't get a job, mostly those who are foreigners can't get a job currently in the UK. And the reply they gave to me, it's not such a good one. A particular agency break down why it seems so impossible for foreigners who are in the UK currently and those who are prospective foreigners who want to move to the UK can't get a job right now, this 2024. So it was like during the pandemic 2022 when the oil shortages in these countries were at its peak. A lot of countries, a lot of nations were coming out with various visa type, issuing several visas and sponsorship to foreigners out there to come into the country to help them fill this position that they can't get in the country. But now, this particular agency, this man in particular, he was so patient, and I really thank him for being patient to explain this to me, because I myself, I was becoming very annoyed to the fact that people are here, they can't get a job. Why are they here in the first place? He said, but you know that, Clara, when these countries opened up this visa, particularly the UK, they never promised that this visa type, this working visa, were going to be a long-term visa. Let's use the care visa for an instance. The care visa was introduced 2022. The UK government says this visa was put in place, implemented, so as foreigners, overseas applicants, international job seekers could come in and fill up the care sector and organization experiencing shortages at the moment. But he said, as the year goes on, we are in 2024, this is post-pandemic. Obviously, most of those jobs must have been filled, not totally filled, but at least the country could still do without overseas applicants and without those who need COS, what we call certificate of sponsorship. He said, you know, during the pandemic, a lot of their residents, a lot of the UK citizen itself left their job position. They were afraid of contracting the disease. They were afraid of getting sick or even getting killed by this disease. But now, this 2024, most companies are not telling their employee that you have to return back to office. You can no longer work for home. It's either you return back to office or you lose your job. And because of the cost of living right now, a lot of people do not want to get to the verge of losing their job. So one factor affecting why there's no more job for foreigners out there and foreigners in the UK looking for the COS is that most of the UK residents and citizens are now returning back to office. This is post-pandemic, so they're returning back to office. Most of them also realize they cannot rely on the government forever for benefits. So they need to look for extra income here and there, using their job, using shift, hustling for shift to pay a bill or the other. And you know, one thing I've realized in the UK job market is that if you are not interested to work full-time, most employers and recruiters would not be willing to hire you. So most of these vacancies, which was supposed to be filled by foreigners, overseas applicants, are now being filled by their own resident full-time job. Taking for an instance, I'm going to make an illustration here. Let's say I run a care home. I'm looking for workers, and I got about 10 workers who I currently needed, saying that they can do full-time job. Of course, I wouldn't be looking for extra hand to come in to work for me. So the major factor affecting this old no more job for foreigners is that people are now returning back to office. Another factor which is affecting this is the fact that the UK government have not implemented rule to say that they are looking to train more of their own people to pick up this job other than going overseas to recruit people. This is because they're trying as much as they can to cut down the whole immigration population. I hope you guys are following me. I really wanted to break this down just like the way this agency did, so a lot of you will understand why it's so hard now, why it's getting so tough to even secure and lay your hand on a particular job offer in the UK currently. So because of the UK government has put in stricter measures to ensure their own people are of advantage of getting this job first off before any other, it makes it so competitive for we as foreigners to even place our hand on a job. Guys, this may not be the news you want to hear today, but this is the reality of what is really happening now in the UK job market. And because I'm in the recruitment sector, I know for a fact this is 100% true, and it cannot get truer than this. Now, another factor which is currently affecting why there may not be job for foreigners out there is the fact that a lot of their citizens, a lot of their residents are of the mindset that we foreigners are taking up their job which they are supposed to do. You all must have seen what is happening currently in the UK, of the riots, this and that, and everything happening of this saying that they don't want foreigners anymore. Guys, what you see out there on television is actually true. It's not fake. A lot of people who I know personally are still of the mindset that foreigners, we are coming to pick up the job they are meant to do. And I can't even blame them. The UK can only accommodate some 30% of foreigners and migrants. This is because the UK is a territory which has its own people. Now, during the pandemic 2022 to be particular, when the UK government opened most of its visa type for international applicants to come in, get a settlement permit after 5 years, come with their dependent, and so a lot of employers at that time, 2022, were begging workers to come and work. I mean, they would do anything whatsoever just to bring you into the country. I know a lot of people who got sponsorship as of 2022 and even early 2023, just at the blink of an eye. Most of them did not even have so much experiences or qualifications that they're not asking of right now. Then 2022, workers were at advantage. Workers had the upper hand in terms of the whole recruitment process. You would see employer trying to cut corners for you, trying to break out way for you, saying, oh, we really need you, we really need you to come. But it doesn't work that way anymore. This is because the competition is just at its peak. Before, the competition was about 70. Now I would say it's about 1,000 people, mostly those who are here in the UK, who were students, those who are here needing switch of COS, really want this job, not to talk of you overseas applicants. Now, another factor that is affecting the no more job for foreigners in the UK is what we call market test. Now, even though when this whole visa sponsorship was hot, when people were getting it at the blink of an eye, there was still something called market test, which states that before an employer could get a permission to go out to recruit, they must firstly look within the country to see if they can't find a qualifying candidate to do the job placement. That is when they will be given that license and permission to go out to hire. Now, this law has already been in place in the time past since 2022, but most employers were not really following it majorly. They were not really following it well. They were still bypassing the old rules and regulation. But now, with the old new government in place, this rule has come into full effect, and without this, you must prove and show to the UK government that, okay, I can't get people in this sector or that sector before you would even be given the license as a company to go out to hire. Guys, you see the factors surrounding all of this no more job for foreigners. It is quite devastating, but I believe you should still not give up, as even though this factor may be affecting why foreigners are not getting job at this moment, I still believe with the right skill, with the right qualifications, you may still get that employer out there who is willing to bring you into the UK. Now, one other measure that is affecting no more job for foreigners is the fact that a lot of you who want to apply for this job are not even qualified. And like I said, this COS, These employers don't get it for free. They actually pay for this COS. Yes, you heard me right. They pay the UK government for this COS. I think about £1,000 for a 3 years COS or something. They pay the UK government, they pay the Home Office before they successfully get the license or before they are approved to recruit from overseas. After having gone through the rigorous check to ensure that they are a company that is 100% verified, they still need to pay the UK Home Office before they get the sponsorship. Now, this employer will still go as far as paying your visa fee, the candidate visa fee, your flight ticket, and a lot more. They invest so much money into recruiting from overseas. It's not cheap at all for them to hire you, even though you're not meant to pay them a dime to get the visa sponsorship, but they themselves will still put so much money in place just to bring you into the country. So they only want the best and nothing but the best. And I'm going to use this as an example. You know that sometimes I organize like a class where I teach people how to successfully secure this job. I coach people on one-on-one consultation to get this job. And some of you, when you come and sit with me, sometimes in my head, I'm like, you want to get a job you're not even qualified for. Some of you must be in the accounting field, you want to get a care job. This doesn't mean you must do like a university degree to get a care job, but you still need to show some level of experiences. Even though you're not in the care sector or you're not from a care background, you still need to show that you know what is care job, you know what it's about. You can work effectively in that sector. But some of you know you can't even volunteer, you don't even want to volunteer. When we tell you to volunteer, you say no, we talk too much. Why should we volunteer? Just to come in and clean the bump of an older person or do personal care. You must have some level of experiences and qualifications to show this. That is why we encourage, take the NVQ tree, take the diploma in healthcare, take this certification, take that certification to boost your chances of getting this job. But no, you will say, I'm not going to do that. Then you will apply to over 1,000, you will apply to over 3,000, you will apply to over 2,000 applications, you still wouldn't get anything. Then you come back and say that, Clara, all this job you post is a lie. They don't hire. They don't hire you. They don't hire you who is a foreigner because you're not qualified. You're not qualified for the job, of course. Why would they hire you? Another factor that is affecting this or no more job for foreigners is the NHS now. A lot of people want to pump into NHS because of the fact that they can bring in their dependents. But the truth still remains that the NHS is the biggest sector opened up by the UK government themselves. Of course, they want to hire the best of all the best. I mean, you shouldn't just be the best, but you should be the overall best before they hire you for this position. Even the least position, just as maybe a medical clerk, a ward clerk, receptionists, they also want to hire those who have the relevant experience. That is why when you go to most NHS job vacancy, you will see the job description. Don't take that for granted. Read thoroughly, read through, read if you qualify. You will see the right qualifications that they need, the right candidate that they need. Some they will write in brackets compulsory. You must have this in compulsory. You must have NVQ compulsory. You must have this qualification compulsory. Don't take that for granted. If you apply without having those that they say compulsory, you wouldn't get the job. Then a lot of you would open your mouth and say no more job for foreigners. Oh, UK is no more hiring. UK is overrated. UK is this, UK is that. Guys, now you see the reason why foreigners are finding it quite insanely difficult to get a job. Even those in the UK who are still foreigners looking for switch, looking for visa sponsorship, mostly those who are on the study visa are affected by this. And it saddens me to think that a lot of people will put in so much effort into moving to the UK, showing proof of fund in terms of the study visa, paying that tuition fee, sitting here working that 20 hours job and still paying this tuition fee, but they can't even get a job that will make them retain in the country. And a lot of you would say, okay, why not the postgraduate visa? At least they can get postgraduate visa. I know of a particular woman who has 4 children, including her husband. That is a family of 6, paying for the postgraduate visa. This is about £12,000 and above. Even I, Clara, doesn't have such amount in my bank account at this moment. So you see, even the postgraduate visa is not reliable at this instant. It doesn't make sense to me. But there's still hope. At the end of the tunnel, I believe there's still hope. So what does this video imply? What is this video trying to teach you? What is this video? What lesson can you take from today's video? What I'm going to say is that if you want to get a job now in the UK, please bear in mind the competition is at its peak. And with the competition being at its peak, you need to have the right qualifications. you need to have the right experiences. Whatever job you're applying for, even down to agriculture job, you need to have that experience as maybe a person who had worked in the agriculture sector in time past or is still working there. If you want to apply as a care, you must have that qualifications and experiences, certification to even back it up in that care sector. You want to apply as a construction worker, you must show this relevant qualifications. So I hope this video today is useful to you. Please do well and gather these necessary experiences and qualifications, certifications to the job you want to apply for. Keep on pushing, apply aggressively. If you were applying for 200 jobs before, you up it up to 2,000 right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even me, when I'm doing my own job search, when I'm doing different vacancies search to bring here on YouTube, I still have to look for a lot before I can show here on YouTube. Spend a lot of hours sitting down before I can bring that vacancy to you on YouTube for all of you to go and apply. Unlike before, when I open up my laptop, immediately I'm seeing job sponsorship, jobs hiring, jobs. It doesn't happen anymore. You guys can even testify to this fact. So guys, don't give up on the UK. UK is hiring. If the job vacancy out there before was over 2,000, now it is now just 200. And 200 with over 2,000 people trying to apply for this 200 job. So you understand it. Please like this video. Show your support by hitting the like button. Subscribe to this channel if you want to get any updates in relate the working visa to the UK or UK visa sponsorship job. And as you do, may God bless you. For now, goodbye.